Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and I wanted to quickly give you my first impressions for the J&P Rebalance mod for Ultimate General Civil War. So this mod is free to download and install, so if you're experienced with this game and you want to try out some new things, definitely give this mod a go, because it's very interesting. Though I will say that it makes the game a bit harder, at least it is for me. Now, just full disclosure here, I've played up to and including Shiloh. So I've got about 2 major battles under my belt and roughly 6 to 9 minor battles under my belt at this point in time. I have not completed an entire playthrough. But based on my initial impressions, first of all, I want to say kudos to the developers of this mod for doing such an excellent job on introducing so many new things, and the game runs very well. But I will say that the game is harder. It's not... I couldn't take my strategies from the core game, the vanilla, and apply it to this J&P Rebalance mod. First thing I want to do is read off the things that I noticed. I mean, I'm sure there's an extensive list of what this mod does, but I wanted to sort of list off what the major changes were that I noticed, and then we'll go through a mission so you can see what the new stuff looks like, okay? So the first thing, there are larger brigades. Let's go ahead and load up my save real quick, just so I can demonstrate the size of the brigades now. Normally you'd see 2,500 max as the Union. At least I usually see 2,500 max. I'm sure it goes higher. But look at this. It goes up to 4,500 soldiers. So the max brigade count is just ridiculous. But see, here's the thing, I don't think I would ever get it that high. I mean, veterans are extremely expensive, so for me to equip 4,000 soldiers on this, I'd have to spend close to $209,000 to do that, and I don't think that's necessary. So yeah, you get the idea, like, there's larger regiment sizes here. Whether or not it's a good idea to do that, I mean, if you try to rookie it up, I mean, you'll lose a ton of experience and stats, so I don't want to do a huge rookie. And on top of that, the computer seems to make use of these larger sizes. In Shiloh, I saw an AI regiment. I'm playing on the easiest difficulty out of the 3, and on the easiest difficulty on Shiloh, there was a Confederate brigade of 3.3K, 3,300. And I'm like, I've only got these rinky-dink 1,500... I mean, they were 1-star, 2-star, but still, like, where's he getting all these men from? How am I supposed to deal with that? I mean, Shiloh was almost a slaughter fest had it not been for the end of it, and I came back. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely more challenging, I think. There's also less brigadier generals available to me. I've been looking at the barracks. What I normally do is I buy up stuff from the academy all the time. I've got a total of maybe 2 or 3 brigadier generals. Normally I would have, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 by now in reserve. I don't. It seems like you have less men to hire in the academy. So I don't know if it's just me, but I'm noticing less men to hire. So that's another thing to keep in the back of your mind. Normally I'd like to have a brigadier general per division, but I've had to resort to colonels being the division leaders, and then maybe the majors or captains, whatever. Now, captains, it was rebalanced to where captains can be in charge of anything. So if you could have a infantry squad of 2,000 captained by a captain, and I just don't think that would be good, because your stats would incredibly stink, for lack of a better term. So there's that. Another thing, this is the gameplay now. Casualties in this game via gunfire, way less. Like, a full barrage would sometimes take out hundreds of men if you planned it right and you got behind them. Not anymore. You know, you might be able to take out 20, 25, 30 in a good barrage, but that's about it. It seems like in the beginning of the game, your primary weapon is to charge. And that's not my style. I don't like the charge. I'm one of those hang back and snipe people with artillery, surround them, and just line up and just barrage them with gunfire. That's just my strategy. But now with these recent maps, I've had to learn to get in there and charge and wipe them out. And to go along with that, condition and morale are not now tied hand in hand. Your maximum morale is determined by your condition. So if your condition is, say, 50, then your morale is capped out at 50. And I think if your condition's like 25, your morale will be capped out at 50 again. So there's a minimum of 50 there when it comes to your condition. But your morale can still drop based off of things that are happening to it, like being shot at, you know. So, and condition hugely affects how well your regiment is going to do. It's going to get slaughtered if you send it into battle with a condition of 10. Like, this mod makes you pay more attention to your regiments and then pull them back after being in battle for so long. If you see their condition dropping below 50, then you're like, okay, I gotta pull you back, bring someone fresh in because they'll do better. So the longer you keep tired troops out on the front line, the worse they do. So that's another thing to worry about in this mod, more micromanagement. Another thing, time is slower. So the default time, it feels like it's more of like a slow motion kind of thing. And you have more time per scenario to get things done. There are new artillery ranges. I love it. That's my favorite part of this mod, the ability to see what short, medium, and long range is. If anything, that's why I'm playing this mod still, because I love the artillery ranges. The guns have been redone. There are some new guns that you'll have access to. Some were removed, like this percussion musket. Regular muskets or they're reboard muskets, that's fine. But they've got these HF 1841, SF 1855. I'm guessing that means Springfield, but still, they've shortened the name on some of these. They've gotten rid of some of the extras, like the Mississippis, and some of the guns had some of the same stats, like they were sort of redundant. So it seemed like they got rid of some of the weaponry in this game to just keep things a bit more, I don't know, less cluttered, if that makes any sense. Skirmishers are faster and use regular weapons now. Certain career perks. Let's go to career. Medicine has a new perk on it. Not only does it restore casualties after battle, but now there's a reduced wound rate and a reduced death rate. The reduced wound rate is only 0.004%, so I don't know how much that's actually going to affect anything. Reduced death rate, 0.04%. Again, I don't know how effective that really is going. I mean, that's a very, very small number, but you know, maybe it might count. I don't know. I didn't do the math behind the scenes. It also seems like I'm earning experience more quickly, which is good, because in my normal games in the vanilla, very rarely would I get a 3-star regiment. Here, I'm already on Shiloh, and I've got 3 2-star regiments, and that's important. This is incredibly important. If you want your people to do well in battle, you need to level them up and keep them ranked up. So veterans are much more important in this mod. Keeping your 2-star and your 1-stars going, because if you just have a bunch of rookies attacking, it's very let's say you've got 2,000 rookies against 1,000 2-star troops. Those 1,000 2-star troops could charge and completely rout your rookies. It's sort of like that scene in The Last Samurai, where you have the samurai in the beginning of the movie going after the Tom Cruise and the Chinese army. I don't remember what it was. Japanese army, and the Japanese army got slaughtered. Even though the samurai were fewer in number, they were inexperienced. Well, same thing here. Your 2-stars really matter. So I'm trying to rank them up as quickly as possible, but it's costing a lot of money to do that. And the perks are different. It's another thing. So, for example, I've got musketry drills. Normally, that arm on the right-hand side of the screen would promote stamina and a couple of other things. Well, this musketry drills increases accuracy and also increases reload time now. So these perks are slightly different. So that's another thing to worry about. So there you go. That's what I noticed. I'm sure there might be more, but I don't want to list. I don't want to create a 15-minute video of me just creating, just a list. So let's get into the nitty-gritty, and we'll do a side mission, one that hopefully is easy. Let's pick one. I guess it doesn't matter. There's no bonus either way. I try to do the side missions first that have a bonus. Capture the hill. All right, I don't want to attack. I'd rather defend. Let's go back. Attacking is more time consuming, especially now in this, it's more dangerous to your people. Let's see if I can find something where I'm defending, something that I could sit there and do more with. Okay, protect center. I'll go ahead and bring my first corps into this. Okay, the situation is critical. Our center is under heavy pressure and will soon collapse. The rebels will attack our divided forces and destroy them in detail. Okay, now I've already done a complete playthrough, so I'm just going to skip the dialogue. So what I'm going to do is I am going to keep artillery on hand so I can show you how well they do. But the rest, it looks like, is just... Alright, so I've got 1 star, 2 star. That's good. I've got this artillery here. These rookies are... Yeah, there's no stars on them, so they're going to get dispatched pretty quickly. I wouldn't mind more artillery, actually. I'm going to get rid of 2B in favor of this 1-star artillery. Alright, so we're going to do something like that, and we'll start the battle. And it seems like these missions were also redone a bit. Like, for example, in the first mission, I noticed I had more men from the very start, but that's because you inflict less casualties. So it's like you need more men to get more things done more quickly, if that makes any sense. So some scenarios seem to be rebalanced and troops added here, reduced there, what have you. Like, I don't remember this down here, not that many. Before, there was a lot more than that. And, yeah, there was only, like, 2 up here, and, like, 2 down here, or 3 down here. Now there's 4 each. I'm gonna fall back with those guys. Actually, I'm gonna fall back every which way. As much as I like those trees, I'm making him use condition in order to reach me, and that's what I want. Alright, they reached them. Alright, let's about face. Plus, I can maybe flank him from this position. How we doing over here? Okay. He's got troops there. Yeah, we'll just keep them there. Everyone's moving up. Now, you'll notice that time is a bit more slow in the default mode, and I have more time in the upper right-hand corner to do what I need to do. We're just going to move up with these guys, but by themselves, they're not going to do very much. Guess I should turn and shoot them in the back. Artillery, I'm noticing, is a lot more effective, too. They inflict a lot more casualties than what I remember. Alright, so we're slightly moving up here, but as you can see, the Confederates are moving in. I want to get my troops on the front line. Again, without using a whole lot of condition, meaning I don't want to sprint there. Alright, let's get the artillery. There's also a new upgrade for the artillery. I think it's a horse. It's like a horse carriage upgrade. Their speed increases by like 500%. The rotation speed increases like 500%. So that's pretty cool. I like that upgrade. Alright, I can't turn because then rains down here will do something about that. Alright, looks like we're winning up there. That's good. Let's back off. Now, these throwaways, I don't mind using throwaways. I use them whenever possible for charging purposes. I'm trying to keep my veterans alive like I would in the vanilla version of the game. Alright, let's turn and keep this up if we can. The commander perks, or your leader perk, is you've got different perks to choose from too. Not only do the regiments have different perks, but these guys have different perks too, which again is pretty interesting. Alright, so I secured the center. I'm going to go ahead and charge with Bernie here. Probably going to fail, but I just want to demonstrate how important melee is in this. I don't know if I'll rout them or not, but it should free up 1C to actually shoot at them. Barry's already being routed. But this is a 2-star regiment, and they should do a decent job. Also, range. Another thing I'll show you real quick. If you hover over a weapon on the bottom left, you can see the damages. Short, 74%, medium, 59%, long, 47%, max, 41%. That's damage multipliers based on how far away you are. So different weapons will have different ranges. So, like, if this 1D were to fire on Hood right now, it wouldn't be very effective. The effectiveness would be like 70, or what is it? Yeah, 41%, which is like max range. The artillery, let's go ahead and zoom in on them. You can now see the cones more clearly as well. It's another thing I forgot to mention. You can actually see the cones are no longer black, they're white. So you can clearly see, you know, the area of effect. And then as far as the artillery goes, you've got a short cone here. Like, you've got your first cone here. So anything within the first cone is short. Then you've got medium here, then you've got your long and extreme ranges out here. So I really, really like that. Alright, so it looks like Bernie got routed, but so did Pettigrew. And they're 900 strong, so that's actually a win for me. Alright, again, let's get the no-names up there first. I want them taking the hits. And these guys, they're fine the way they are, I think. Let's see if we can't. Yeah, flank is very important as well. Hatton will be... Yeah, there you go. But you'll notice time is a bit more slow on the default mode here. Don't want to use these guys unless I absolutely have to. Yeah, see, right now we've got that moderate cone. If we take a look, we can also see how well they do. Range damage multipliers for the artillery. Medium is 9%, whereas short range is 12%, and range 100 is 31%. So, at medium range, this Parrot does pretty well. Although it seems to do better at max range, which is interesting. And then we've got this, that's another 10-pound ordnance there. I don't have a howitzer, unfortunately. Or do I? Oh, I do. There's my Napoleon. That is slightly different. As you can see, short is 50%, whereas max is 2%. So this thing prefers to fire up danger close. Right now, I like to use medium range so they don't take any damage, but if I were to get them in short range, this thing would tear them apart. Move Robinson up. Let's get Bernie moved up again. I want these no-name taking the hits. And we'll go ahead and fast forward time because it's just so slow. But you'll notice how, I mean, yeah, they're taking some damage per salvo, but not as much as they normally would. Like, 1D just unloaded on roads and maybe knocked out 10, 20 people. It was like 20 people there, possibly. Like, the casualty counts, 491, 525. Normally they would have done a lot more damage by now. Okay, so that one Bernie, I think, just got routed. Bring in Bernie, I guess. Not that we need to, but I want to give his artillery something to shoot at that isn't my squad. That isn't my regiment. Red shirts, if you will. Alright, let's see if I can find something with a condition 99%, that's good. 94, 98. Okay, so these regiments are going to do fine as they are. It's going to bring them down. I was trying to find a regiment that was like at 1% or 10%. All these are fine. 79%, that's pushing it. But you'll notice, if you take a look on the bottom left, their condition is 79%, and the morale is 79%. Like I said, the morale and condition are tied together. So if you want a high morale, you need a high condition. And then if this condition were to drop to, say, 25%, I think the max morale would be like 50% or something like that. I think it caps out at 50. Again, it's interesting. Something to get used to, that's all. Alright, let's just fast forward time again, get through this. Still have a minute 20. That's not really minutes, as we've determined, but still. Not sure what they're trying to do, but okay. Yeah, this is short range. What's he got going there? A parrot. Had he had a howitzer, that would have been way better, I think. They're really pushing this top. Let's go ahead and bring these two regiments in, just to maybe gain some experience. Same with that. I mean, it looks like we've got this one. I'm just saying, it'd be nice to be able to level up some of these guys easily. And the way you can do that is keep them out of the fight, but still give them a chance to shoot at the opponent. Be a flanking regiment or something. There you go. 51 kills, that's not too bad. But I don't want to get too close to the point where that would attract his artillery. He is really insistent on coming up this side. He really likes that. Alright, let's back off. That artillery... Charging artillery in this game is extremely risky, and I generally only do it if I have cavalry or skirmishers, because skirmishers move quickly, cavalry moves quickly, but with infantry, they're going to get slaughtered as they attempt to get up on it. Let's go ahead and move Robinson closer. I want the artillery to focus on my no-named people, if at all possible. Parrot there, good. Howe has been routed, but that's okay. Just move these guys up. Now here's the thing, Abercrombie 1st Brigade is down to 36 condition, so I may want to keep them back here and rest. These guys, well, that's even worse, they're at 11. Let's just back them up too while we're at it. These guys are at 39%. These guys are at 58. Let's go ahead and get them moved in. Just to help out. And usually to gain condition, they can't be fighting and they can't be moving. So, like, this guy's not doing anything, so his condition is increasing at 50%. I don't want to move them down at 50%, but I really have no choice. Alright, so we're going to finish that. So we won. We lost some people, no doubt, but they were all no-named people, so I'm kind of fine with that. And we got 1 career point, 4 reputation. It seems like I gain reputation slower, too, but I don't know if that's just me. Let's go ahead and accept that. Career, what am I going to want? As you can see, it's the same perks that you can choose in your career, but again, medicine's really the only one that I noticed is any different than the rest. Training. Huh. That's a new one. Minus 2% cost of veteran recruits, and then plus 2 recruit stats. Interesting. I did not know that. Cool. Logistics. Oh, interesting. So there's a shop multiplier with logistics. 1.5 shop stock multiplier. Before, the logistics would just give you more ammo. Now it gives you more things in the shop to buy. And reconnaissance, 25 to spotting. That's kind of cool because I always found reconnaissance to be lacking. Sure, I mean, knowing what your enemy's going to throw at you is nice, but if it's a Mack truck and you can't stop it, then what difference does it make? I'd rather have a large army that I don't know what's coming and I can handle anything. Now this is actually giving me a reason to put points into reconnaissance because I can spot things better. I'm still throwing points into politics as per my usual strategy to try and get as much money and troops as possible, and it seems to be working, but I kind of want to put points into training and medicine as well, just to try and, just to see how the reduced wound rate does. Medicine still gives me casualties back at the end of the mission, so I'm still taking that. I wouldn't mind trying the training just to keep stat levels high. I like that. I'm going to go ahead and put a point there, because why not? Alright, so all in all, I will say that the J&P Rebalance mod is fantastic. I would prefer it to be slightly easier on the easy mode. That's just me. I just think that this game is more challenging now than the vanilla on easy. So, if you're a newcomer to the game, my recommendation is get through the vanilla first, learn how to play the game, and then once you're somewhat experienced with it, try this game out, or try this mod out, because this is tough. I've played this game several times. I don't claim to be an expert at it, and easy mode is still making me sweat more than the vanilla ever did. So, yeah, I do recommend it, but like I said, not to new people. I would recommend it to people that have played this before. But it's still fantastic. I love all the new cool stuff that's been added to the game. So, yeah, just keep this in the back of your mind if you're looking for something different on this game. It's pretty good. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.